What if the Earth stopped spinning for 1 hour? Imagine you're brushing your teeth one morning when the entire world lurches sideways. Your toothbrush flies across the room. You hit the wall. Everything that isn't nailed down goes tumbling. That's because, without warning, the Earth just stops spinning. Let's rewind a little. Right now, you're moving. Even if you're sitting perfectly still, you're cruising eastward at about 1,670 kilometers per hour, 1,038 miles per hour, if you're near the equator. That's faster than a bullet, faster than a jet. You don't feel it because everything around you, the ground, the air, your chair, even your cat, is all moving at the same speed. It's smooth, peaceful, until it's not. So, what would happen if the Earth suddenly hit the brakes and stopped spinning? For 1 hour? Well, for starters, this wouldn't be a gentle slowdown. We're not talking about the Earth gradually easing to a stop like a merry-go-round. We're talking full stop, instantly. That means everything on the surface that was moving at 1,670 kilometers per hour keeps moving, without the Earth underneath it. The first second would be absolute chaos. Trees, buildings, cars, oceans, the atmosphere, everything would surge eastward. Cities would crumble under their own momentum. Skyscrapers would collapse as the ground jerked away from under them. People would be launched sideways like rag dolls. The air itself, still moving at Earth's former rotational speed, would whip across the surface with winds stronger than any hurricane, flattening everything in their path. In the oceans, massive walls of water would rise up and race inland. Every coastline would be hit by tsunamis hundreds of meters tall, smashing across continents. The damage would be catastrophic, and that's just in the first few seconds. But while the surface is wrecked by inertia, things are calmer underground. The Earth itself, the solid mass, has stopped spinning. But interestingly, it's only stopped for an hour. After that, it starts spinning again. Hold that thought. During the 1 hour of stillness, Earth would undergo some weird changes. The centrifugal force from Earth's spin, the outward pulling force that bulges the planet at the equator, would vanish. Gravity would seem slightly stronger, especially near the equator. You might feel a bit heavier, not enough to notice with a scale, but enough to make falling objects land a tiny bit faster. Earth would start shifting from its slightly squashed shape toward a more perfect sphere. And without rotation, the Coriolis effect disappears too. That's the force that makes weather systems spin and gives us trade winds. For 1 hour, the atmosphere would forget how to behave. Storms would lose their structure. Jet streams would go haywire. Weather systems would begin unraveling, and then rearranging into bizarre, unfamiliar patterns. Meanwhile, GPS satellites, which rely on Earth's rotation to calculate your position, would get confused. Communication systems would glitch. Planes in the air would have no idea what wind they're flying through. Time zones wouldn't make sense anymore. Is it still 3 p.m. in London if the Earth isn't spinning? And then there's the matter of the sun. Normally, Earth's rotation is what gives us day and night. But if Earth isn't spinning, then wherever the sun was when everything stopped, that's where it stays in the sky for the full hour. If it was sunrise where you are, the sun would freeze halfway over the horizon. If it was midnight, the stars would stop moving. A planet without rotation is a planet frozen in time. But remember, this nightmare only lasts an hour. So, what happens when Earth suddenly starts spinning again? The same chaos, but in reverse. Everything that was launched eastward when the Earth stopped is now suddenly being dragged back. If you survived the first shockwave, now you're getting hit by another. The winds, having calmed slightly, would roar once more. Water would surge backward. Buildings, if any are still standing, would crack and fall as the crust shifts beneath them. But it gets worse. The sudden change in motion would cause massive earthquakes. Fault lines all over the world would rupture. Volcanic systems would become unstable. Lava might begin to rise in places it hadn't before. Cities sitting quietly for centuries might find themselves on top of ticking geological time bombs. If, somehow, humanity survived the physical destruction, there would still be a long list of problems. The atmosphere would take months, maybe years, to stabilize. Crops would fail due to climate chaos. Ocean currents, which depend on the rotation of Earth, would be totally scrambled. Animal migration patterns would collapse. Satellite orbits might shift due to gravitational anomalies, cutting off the internet and global communication. And all this from 1 hour without spin. But here's the twist. This couldn't actually happen. Physically, stop.